It's August 2025, and from the Miss Dig Studios in Lansing, Michigan, this is Digging In. Hey, hello again out there. Thanks for joining us. This is the Digging In podcast. I'm Eric Urbain with Miss Dig 811. With me, as always, is Jeff Johnson behind the controls, and we're happy for you to take some time to join us today. Jeff, how's it going, man?
It's all right.
It's all right, as he shouts from the back corner. No, it's good. Good to have you here. We have a great show for you this time out. We are joined in studio by our damage prevention liaison team, and we'll introduce you to them, and we'll talk a little bit about the impact that they are having out there across the state as they teach, support, advise, and connect our stakeholders across all industries to just try to make Michigan a safer place to work. But before we turn it over to these folks, I do want to share some news and notes that we'd like to kick off every episode with. So let's start with kind of a follow-ups from some of the big news from our last episode, and that is, of course, the announcement that we'll be putting on the Great Lakes Damage Prevention Conference and Expo, which is a mouthful, in February 2026, right here in Lansing. I mean, we're excited to bring excavators, utility providers, government officials, locators, emergency responders, and really all of our industry partners together for this two-day event. Involve networking, demonstrations, collaborations, and a lot of learning. We have big plans for this event, not just for next year, but for years to come. And really, that can only happen, if we're able to provide the best experience we can for our attendees. So with that in mind, we would love to have your involvement for those of you out there. This isn't an event where it's going to be nothing but wall-to-wall 811 Miss Dig presentations that we are conducting. There'll certainly be a component to that, but that's not really the point of this event. We want to touch every, kind of aspect of the industry, and let those who join us hear from experts, dealing with new technology or best practices or, new safety breakthroughs, and really anything that will stand out in the damage prevention space. So if you out there listening, or someone in your organization, you have a success story or some wonderful information that you feel could benefit the industry as a whole in the state, we'd love to have you lead one of our expo sessions. There has been a website established for the expo, and on it you'll see a call for presenters and vendors, a portion of that website. So, if you have a presentation, whether that be for excavators or utility providers, locators, or even emergency responders, or even something that kind of applies, broadly across the industry, again, we'd love to have you be part of the festivities. The website, to check it out, it's greatlakes811expo.com. So again, please check that out for info and to get involved, and we hope to see you here in Lansing in February. In other news, 811 Day is upon us, right? August 11th, or 8/11 or 811 on the calendar is a great way to promote not just the usage of the system, but to celebrate the efforts of the men and women, working hard out there each day to protect our buried infrastructure and keep worksite safe. It probably comes to no surprise to any of you out there that we will be involved in several events around 811 Day. So let's start with a couple of the early ones. On Friday, August 8th, we will be at the Great Lakes Loons game in Midland, sharing some info with our fellow fans, and someone in this room may even have an appearance on the mound before the game. On that same night, we'll have team members in Kalamazoo working with our partner, the Kalamazoo Growlers. They've been a good partner for several years now. And if you're a baseball fan in the Great Lakes Bay region or in Southwest Michigan, or if you're just looking for a night out with the family, come out, take in a ball game, and say hi to us when you have an opportunity to see us there. Now, on 811 Day itself, we have another couple events. Miss Dig 811 will have our colorful and fun educational mobile unit at the Detroit Zoo, so we can meet with and provide info to all the patrons as they check out the grounds and the many animals. Now, we have messages at a handful of exhibits across the zoo. And, we've been working with them since last season. They've been a wonderful partner. We've got a chance to see many people at some of their events, and love to see you if you happen to be visiting the zoo on Monday the 11th. We'll also be holding an open house of our Lansing headquarters here at where we are coming to you from at 1 p.m. on the 11th that afternoon. Now, it was just about a year ago we finally got the keys to this place, and yes, we have been using it, but there's been a lot of work going in, a lot of renovations and updating, but we are at a point where we are really happy with this facility and like to show it off to the public and our stakeholders. I mean, part of it, we have this wonderful space, this media studio, as well as a large and kind of high-tech training room that is not just available for our internal events, but something we really want to kind of work with and collaborate with our stakeholders and our members. So, it's available. It is not just for us. So if you work for one of our utility members or, other stakeholder group, and you're looking for a meeting space or maybe a central meeting space or, a space that's a little bit larger than what you're able to accommodate, reach out to us. We'd love to have you out and host one of your safety events here in Lansing. But again, whether that be at a ball game, at the zoo, or just kind of checking out our new place, we certainly have a lot going on to promote 811 Day, and hope you can join us. All right. So, with some of that latest and greatest out of the way, let's get into the main topic for the episode, and that, or they, are the folks joining me here in studio, our damage prevention liaison team. I have 3 of the 6-person team with me, and we'll bring in the other 3 shortly. We only have so many chairs and mics, folks, so we can only do this, and we have to do this in sections. So we'll start with the supervisor of this exciting initiative, Mr. Pat Goddard, who handles damage prevention issues throughout the Upper Peninsula. Pat, thanks for being here. How's it going?
Going good. Nice studio. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's good to see you. We're happy to be here, and happy that you guys could actually be in here. Not your first time in this room for each of you, I know, but first time, maybe getting it out there to the world. So, Pat, why don't you share with the folks tuning in maybe a little bit about your background and kind of your role as a liaison, and
Sure.
And then from there, maybe kind of your thoughts on how this liaison program has been going and what we're looking to achieve in the future.
Sure. My background is I have 30 years in excavation in the industry, down in the hole, starting off there and then ended up as an operator. This job fits perfectly in here. Basically, as a liaison, we're supporting and helping all parties understand Public Act 174. And like we said, we want to make sure everyone goes home safe at the end of the night. That's the bottom goal. And as long as everyone's digging safely and understands how to dig safely, from placing a ticket to, finishing up a job, understands how, to do that and be safe doing it, then we've accomplished our goal. We've had a lot of success throughout the state with the new liaison program. The team has been doing great. They've been the voice for Miss Dig 811. They've been just not the voice, but also the face.
Yeah.
So we're out there shaking hands, getting to know people, making contacts, and helping out everybody that we possibly can, from the excavator to the staker, the locator, to the facility owner, and even homeowners placing tickets. We're trying to help everyone understand it and be safe around facilities. And the team has been doing a great job doing that, reaching out. They're not shy one bit, and so they do a very good job of introducing themselves to people.
No, it's been great. As I guess a former liaison in a way myself, I'm not out there as much as I used to be, but I certainly understand some of what you guys are dealing with out there. And I have heard in this short amount of time nothing but positive and glowing feedback about those who have worked with this team. So great job, everyone, so far, and look forward to seeing where we go with this. But thanks, Pat. We'll got some more questions coming up, but I am happy to introduce all of you to Emma Taylor, who is our liaison for the Bay region. Hi, Emma. How's it going?
I'm good, Eric. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for you being here, you guys. So, what kind of led you to this role here at MISTIG?
Yeah, so I was at NSR, so a notification system representative for about 2 years. So I was one of the operators that took the phone calls when you called the 811 line. So I became very knowledgeable on that part. It's a very important part of 811 in the process. And, doing that for a while, just like, I would really love to, dig in, get my hands in, get a little dirty, and see what else I can do within the company, see how I can strive and the goals that I could accomplish, like what was next after this. And, once I heard about the damage prevention program, I was like, this would be perfect. Like, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm very out there, like you guys said, not shy at all.
Sure.
So I just, right when I seen that, I was like, yeah, I want to try to get this position. This would be perfect. I'd love to educate people and just make sure everybody goes home safe at the end of the day. So that's what really, that was my goal, is to excel in the company. And once I heard about this, I was like, yes.
Well, I think so far you have been, and we certainly appreciate it. So for all you excavators out there that maybe try to take out some of your frustrations on our NSRs, we want you to know that we do not store them somewhere. They can be out. And so just remember that you may wind up working with one or needing some help from one of our NSRs. But no, thanks, Em. It's been great having you on this team, and appreciate what's been going on.
Thank you.
And from our northern lower Michigan region, we have Ryan Pinanelli. Ryan, good to have you on the team and on the show.
Yeah.
Why don't you share a little bit about yourself with the audience, if you don't mind?
Yeah, so I formerly used to work at DT. I was a damage prevention liaison for there. Before that, I was a staker. So a lot of experience. I worked at DT. Before that, I worked at USIC. So, like Emma said, it's a lot of the, trying to prevent damages and educate the public. But, I've had experience in that in the past, and trying to bring that onto the team. The new team has been awesome. The team's, we've talked about it a million times. The team's super close. It's been great, like getting out. And then for me specifically in the North region, just trying to go around and meet all the contractors, members, and stuff like that. That's what we've been doing right now. I'm just trying to honestly pass my number out like candy as much as I can to anybody that'll take it. So, yeah, it's been really fun so far.
No, this has been great. And, our liaisons work basically in a regional level, right? Try to be able to be, reactive and kind of have the finger on the pulse of a regional basis. And, as we are filming this, it just happens to be one of the rare opportunities we've had everyone together in the same place at the same time. So, just to kind of share experiences and successes and get questions answered, and just kind of, cover some of the broad scale of what we are tasked to do in that role. So it's great to have this opportunity, and I really hope you folks out there, reach out to liaisons in your area. So again, you guys are working out there alongside the excavators and our members, as mentioned, and so Pat, we mentioned you're up in the Upper Peninsula and got yourself quite a you got quite yourself a reputation up there, eh? So really, what what have you been doing up there this dig season? What's been happening?
Well, water replacement's a huge program going on right now. So is fiber. Basically, just working with those excavators out in the field with any issues coming up. If it's a locating issue, or with a stakeholder or the facility owner, working with those issues, making sure that the work continues, but it's being done safe, and that the excavators are following Public Act 174 guidelines and date times. Starting the tickets when they're supposed to start the ticket, and not going past the 21-day period. The ticket life. That's one of the big ones because there is so much work going on. If you travel across the state, just not in the Upper Peninsula, but you see machinery everywhere. It's all over the place being worked on, roads being worked on, fiber going in, water lines going in. So it's everywhere. But the Upper Peninsula is a little different than, like, let's say the Metro Detroit area.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, just a little, eh?
A little
Just
less
a little.
buildings.
But so it's a job where the owner is in the machine.
Yep.
So you're working directly with the owner as the operator. So it's kind of neat that way because now you're getting the perspective. They get the perspective of, they're just not the owner of the company, but they want to make sure that they're making money too, and they don't have downtime. Downtime is, one of the, as an excavator myself or operator, downtime's not a fun time. That's money out the door and that. And when you do have downtime, now you got to catch up on that work. So now you're trying to, speed up and get caught up on where you were. And that's where we want to make sure everyone is safe. So if we can keep them working in a steady pattern, things are safer that way too. But the Upper Peninsula is, like I said, it's the Upper Peninsula. But work is going on very well there, and not a whole lot of major issues or anything like that. It's just those little things that we just have to put out these little fires here and there. So that's a good thing that we're at right now.
And and it's we make fun and all that, but regardless, it doesn't matter if it's up in Copper Harbor, anywhere in the UP down to downtown Detroit. A damage or a potential injury or worse is the same anywhere, right? And it's what we need to avoid. And it's great to have someone kind of stationed in kind of every corner in the state.
Oh, and that's the huge part with the team, with 6 liaisons throughout the state. And the nice thing about the liaison department, the team, is that we all have different experiences.
Yep.
And we all bring those different experiences, from a locating point of view, or, an NSR point of view, or, from a facility owner point of view where, Ryan comes from, and even law enforcement a little bit.
Yeah.
But we just don't handcuff people anymore. We don't do that.
He wants to.
He wants to, but we don't let Jason do that. But, but we have a little bit of everything, and that's nice to bring to the team because if someone else has a question, we definitely have answers, within the team, helps the team, be able to do their job and be able to come across any type of obstacle that we have, and be able to, take care of that and again, make sure everybody is safe.
No, well done. Really appreciate what you've been able to put together here. And I think this will only continue to expand and be more impactful.
Oh, yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun with the guys and the gals.
Yeah, no, it really has been. Speaking of gals, Emma, we mentioned former NSR, so you're really there on essentially the front line of what 811 is, right? I mean, that is what most people think of when it's that inbound notification center. Now you find yourself, you are on the front line of our response, to damage prevention issues in the field. What has that experience or that kind of jump or evolution been like here in this short amount of time?
Yeah, I would say it's very nice to be able to go on site and see what they do and what that looks like.
Yeah.
So every job site that I go to, I definitely learn something new.
Sure.
Whether it's a name of an excavator or the type of work that they're doing or a name of a hole that they're digging, I've learned a lot of things by visiting those job sites. And just getting that knowledge from the contractors and excavators and storing that in my brain really helps me connect the more that I do it. Because the more that I do it, the more I can, connect with them and relate to them. And, that goes into, educating them
Sure.
and letting them know about Public Act 174, making sure they're doing everything that they're supposed to do on site, and even when they're placing those tickets as well. Because we all know there's a lot of steps that go into it. And even if you skip one, it can really bite you in the butt. You
Sure.
know? So just like Pat said, that's something, we try to prevent because our biggest goal is safety. So
Absolutely. No, and great work so far out there, really. Now, Ryan, you mentioned you had a very similar title over there with the gas folks before joining us. Obviously kind of a smaller sample size so far, but what are some of the differences that, you kind of experience, as a liaison for large gas company, obviously now liaison for Miss Dig, more, obviously smaller, maybe different messaging, kind of what's that been like?
I mean, a lot of the messaging is the same as far as trying to prevent damages, but the overall, one, the job itself, and then also just one, at DT, I was only covering natural gas, right? So now with the Mistig, it's, we're trying to protect all facilities. So that has been probably the biggest change, and a lot of like what we've done is definitely different than like what the DT damage prevention team does. They're a lot more in the field, kind of trying to prevent damages right there on site. Whereas, for us, it's been one, we cover a much larger area at here, but then it's been a lot more educating, a lot more like liaisoning. So it's been cool. It's been very cool. Like the transition from DT to Mistig has been really cool. But I lean on a lot of the experiences that I gained at DT, just because I did a lot of job sites and stuff. So I'm pretty familiar with the job sites, but also just learning the area too. Like I was a liaison down in the Grand Rapids area, so now I've moved up to the Traverse City area, and I'm that's probably the biggest thing that I'm trying to learn all of the different excavators, all the different companies and stuff in the area. And like I said, just put my number out there and get everybody to call me. But it's been, and then also too, just like the work, different type of work in the area. It's always different, different parts of the state. Like Traverse City's growing like crazy. So, yeah.
No, hey, glad to have you and all you guys as part of this. So, thanks. What you guys have been doing. This has been great, and we've only just begun. So a lot more exciting stuff.
It's been fun from our end too. So
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad. I was kind of worried we'd have a conversation about how miserable everyone is when brought the podcast.
We're happy to be here.
No, we're happy to have you guys. Thank you very much. So, all right. So while you can't tell if you're listening in, but for those watching this episode online, you'll see that we have brought 3 more lovely and talented individuals in the studio, and that being the other 3 of our 6-person liaison team. With me are Stephanie Williams, liaison for our southern region, Rob Sommer, who handles our West Michigan affairs, and last but not least, Jason Hudson, who has the challenging task of liaisoning in Metro Detroit, or all of Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb. So first, thank you guys for coming in and being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So, Jason, we'll start with you. First, why don't you share a little bit about yourself here and some of what the experience has been like so far?
I come from a background of local government. So I just retired from White Lake Township after almost 26 years. My main position for the last 10 years is going to be the code, building, and zoning enforcement. So I have a lot of interactions with the public and knowledge of permitting and land use type situations. So I think that helps bring some continuity between the liaison and the excavator. So I have a good handle on what they're looking for and what they're doing out there. I kind of like that. So a little bit about myself. I've been married to my wife. It'll be 33 years coming up in August. So we have 2 daughters, 33 and she'll be 26. She just turned 26. So, yeah, I look forward to this job. I'm having fun with it. It's a lot different than what I'm used to. And
Sure.
The conflicts aren't there. So I I enjoy talking to people, and I enjoy getting out there and giving some education. Like my past history was, in law enforcement and government work. So safety is always on my mind, no matter what type of job I'm in. So I enjoy promoting that.
Well, we appreciate having you. I heard nothing but good things from those you've worked with so far, and have provided some feedback. So
yeah, and like you said, you did ask me about the kind of the challenges out there. Wayne County, Macomb County, and Oakland County are extremely busy. There's construction everywhere, and the potential for damage and damages are really prevalent in those areas. So it's going to be a long road, and it's going to be tough getting all the excavators, but I look forward to doing that and getting everyone on the same page. And I think first and foremost, getting everyone home safe, and then protecting all of our infrastructure underground. So
absolutely. Oh, thanks, Jason. All right, Rob. So hey, you're no stranger to the industry, but
No.
why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and kind of what it's been like being on the 811 center side of things.
Okay. So before coming to Mystic, I was with USIC. I was with them for 9 years. I spent 5 of those years as a locator, 4 as a supervisor. So, switching over to Mystic 811 has been a eye-opening, positive experience.
Right.
Seeing both ends of the spectrum, so to speak.
Yeah.
It gives you a really different insight on what resources are out there available to you. If you're digging in the ground. It's just a process that unfolds, in protecting underground infrastructure. Jumping over or coming over to Mystic 811 has been, like I said, a positive experience. The 6 liaisons that are, that cover Michigan, we work very well, very closely with one another.
Yeah.
The camaraderie in the team is, in such a short period of time, is just unspeakable. It really is. So as with Jason, and Stephanie, and the previous 3 before that spoke, we take our job to heart, and we just, like Jason said, and probably you've heard before, we just want to make sure that people go home at night every single day, be able to take their boots off at home.
The way you guys have come together, as someone who kind of gets to observe kind of from the outside a little bit, if I didn't know better, I thought you guys would have been working together for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
The way you guys interact, and I think that's terrific, right? 'Cause no one of us have all the answers, right? So if you can lean on one of your team members for a little bit of support or insight or information, it just makes life so much easier. So really, really love what you guys have been doing so far here. So well done, and welcome aboard here.
Thank you.
So Stephanie, how you doing? Now, you're not new to the company, but like everyone else, new to the liaison role. So why don't you share with the folks your background and kind of how things have been going in this position so far?
Perfect. So I started off with Mystic 811 as an NSR. I did that for about 3.5 years and then was promoted as a damage prevention liaison. I do cover the South region of Michigan. Like everyone was stating, our team is fantastic. I'm really passionate about this. My dad's a utility worker, so I really want to make sure everyone's going home and cutting down on those damages. I love this company, and I'm very passionate.
And really, happy to see you make that progression, into this, and obviously you've been the right person for the job here. So well done. Have you had maybe over the past couple months, have you had a chance to maybe, meet or work with, an excavator so far that maybe you recognized from your time, on the other end of ththings?
So yes, I have actually stopped at quite a few job sites and recognized some of the contractors, and it's nice to make those connections. You do talk to them on the phone, so you know who they are, but you don't know who they are in person. So it's great when you actually get out there, shake their hand, and make sure that they're excavating safely.
Yeah, face with a name, right?
Yes.
is very important to what we're doing in terms of building those relationships and that network. Rob, obviously it's only been a few months here, and probably haven't had you may have had a chance to get feedback from some of the folks you've worked with. Like what have you heard, if anything, from the stakeholders you've kind of worked with in terms of how they feel about this liaison program and having someone at a regional level?
Yeah, they're really excited. When I've met with them and explained the damage prevention liaison department, there was, how do I want to say this? It's almost like they were getting on their knees and like praying, like, thank goodness, thank goodness this is happening. We've been waiting for this for so long, and I know myself, the rest of the liaisons, and as well as Mystic 811, they're more than happy to be able to finally pull the plug, so to speak.
Sure.
And getting that rolling. And it's been a really appreciative, positive experience. Being a part of seeing that excitement behind the stakeholders, behind the members.
No, glad to hear that. We've known there's been interest in that, and I think internally we've known that we need to offer probably more out of our education and outreach. So it's really good to just kind of see and hear how well this has been kind of recognized and accepted by the stakeholders out there. And it wouldn't be if it weren't for you individuals, right? In the way you're handling your business and the way you approach the stakeholders. So so far, so good. This has been, a wonderful success from everything that we're hearing. But that wasn't a guarantee necessarily going into this. So, it's a success because of the folks like yourselves that are actually doing the job. So appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Now, Jason, you mentioned coming over from law enforcement, maybe didn't have that same exposure internally to this whole damage prevention, industry that some others, but have really jumped in, been doing great work. Any surprises, good, bad, as you came into this, maybe, not being an 811 person per se?
Yeah, so definitely a lot of surprises.
Sure.
Unknown how much underground facilities are. And you don't know what you don't know. And being in this position and dealing with our stakeholders and our excavators and our internal staff, it's mind-boggling of what's underground and the amount of damages and danger that lies underneath there, and really how easy it is to avoid the danger and the damages. I never really had to call 811. We've always promoted it, at the townships that I worked in, and we had the homeowners brochures up there. But I myself never really dealt with the 811 system and how easy it is to use and how effective it is. So, and I think when I announced that I was coming over to this job, everyone said, "Oh, you're got to come out and locate our utilities." I no, I'm not. That's not what we do. So, I think with this team and as well as everyone else at the quality control, member support, education, I think everyone works really well together. And I think that as a team, there's a lot of people out there that we can connect with and educate. And I myself was one of those that was not fully educated on it. I'm enjoying this.
Great. And yeah, I mean, that's it. We got to kind of reach out and get the word out. Now it's, we are working on obviously kind of industry related issues, right? When you're working with maybe a frustrated excavator or a member that's maybe struggling, but equal part of all of this, not just the organization and this team, but larger, is just awareness, right?
Absolutely.
So people understand that 811 is for everyone. You don't have to be a professional, experienced equipment operator, before you think about misdig. So, thanks, guys, for everything you've done so far, and we'll continue to do. We're happy to have this team in place, and just quick look, just in really 2 months of being out there, this liaison team collectively, they've given dozens and dozens of training presentations. They met with hundreds of our members in person. They've been out to 150 job sites as a group in just in 2 months here. And we're just getting started. So lots of great stuff, to come. And folks, these are your frontline MISDIG representatives. So if you have an issue or a question, regarding locating, excavation, maybe you need some contact info, or looking to have your crew trained up. I could say that sentence 10 times and probably get it right once. Reach out to us. The regions and the contact information for each can be found at our website, which is misdig811.org, and go into the education tab, and you'll find an actual map of geographically each region, and then the contact information for each of our liaisons. All right, so that is just about it. Another episode of Digging In is in the books. Thanks for the wonderful group of folks in this liaison team for being on the show, and thank you out there for joining us. Please come out to see us as we celebrate 811 Day, and again, visit our website, misdig811.org, to access the liaisons information as well as everything MISDIG and utility damage prevention related. And remember, to check out GreatLakes811expo.com to learn about this exciting event. And again, proposals are open, and if you're looking to lead a session and make an impact in the progress of this industry. And then one final thing, we can't get out of here without asking you all to like, follow, and subscribe to MISDIG content across our socials. And heck, even share it with maybe your family and friends that don't know that 811 is from them. And if you have a topic you'd like to hear on a future episode, comment below this video, or shoot us an email to education@misdig811.org. And with that, we'll wrap this up. I'm Eric Urbain with MISDIG 811, and for Jeff Johnson and the rest of the team here, we thank you and remind everyone out there that safety is in your hands. Contact MISDIG 811 before every dig, every time. See you next time, everybody.